Well, this past weekend, the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and the Truck Series all headed out west or Midwest out to Austin, Texas to race at the Circuit of Americas, a road course, a phenomenal road course. We saw a great race in trucks, Xfinity, and also in Cup. But one of the biggest headlines coming out of this past weekend in COTA for the Cup side of things is that Bubba Wallace made yet another mistake, and he's criticizing himself way too hard. And it brings up the discussion and topic, does he need to be replaced at 2311 Racing? And today I am here to tell you what I think about it all, and also give you a couple of drivers to keep an eye on for a potential replacement of Bubba Wallace in the 2024 season. On to the intro we go.
Hey, Ryan Blaney here, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
There's really no need to make this much longer than it should be, but heading into 2021, 2311 Racing is opening doors for its new team, and they're heading out to Daytona. They got Ty Dillon in the class driving for them while Bubba Wallace is on top listening. And I believe that was a big deal for him because he was able to work with Booty Barker as that team kicked off their very first race in an expedition race, and he learned a lot. So you fast forward to the Daytona 500. Not a good outing, but he had a chance. He was very quick, but we saw McDowell win the race. Fast forward this season, later on in the fall of 2021, the very first season for the team in existence, 2311 Racing, Bubba Wallace goes to Talladega and wins the race. And that's a big deal. And it's at the end of the season, so you're ending the season on a high note. So heading into 2022, we had high hopes for Bubba Wallace. We thought with the next-gen car, it was going to be a lot more of an even playing field for the smaller teams or the newer teams, if you will, like Trackhouse and 2311 Racing. Bubba Wallace had a slow start, and that slow start just carried on until the second half of the season. And by that point, he was in a must-win situation, and he never won. And the playoffs start, they rolls down to Kansas, and Bubba Wallace, driving the 45 car in replacement of Kurt Busch, goes on and wins the race and ends that season of 2022 on a high note. So the first two seasons of 2311 Racing and Bubba Wallace combination, we have seen slow starts and high end notes, if that makes sense. Bubba Wallace right now in 2023 is off to a very slow start. His teammate Tyler Reddick had a little slow start himself, had a couple of bad luck, not really a performance issue. He was very quick. He finally went to victory lane this past weekend in COTA, and I think it just set the fire on fire, honestly. It kicked things off, if you will, because he is up there going for the win while Bubba Wallace is riding around in the teens and 20s and 30s, and that's not cutting it. It's really not. And they know the potential that car has, and they see Tyler Reddick doing well. So, could a decision be made sooner rather than later to replace Bubba Wallace? I believe so. They're just giving him way too much time, in my opinion. If it was someone else, they'll move on. But Bubba Wallace, though, is so promising, so that's why they're holding on to him. He brings in sponsorship money, but he also is very unpredictable. He can go out and win Kansas like he did last year. No one saw that coming. But, though, if they were to replace him at 2311 Racing, here are the 5 drivers I got replacing him. The first one being Sammy Smith. He races in Xfinity for Joe Gibbs. Great driver, very young. He's 18 years old. He's going to be in Cup at 19? Maybe. Time will tell. The second one would be John Hunter Nemechek. He raced in Cup back in 2020 with Front Row. Decided to go to trucks in 21 and in 22. And in 23, he got the promotion to Xfinity. And could 2024 be another Cup deal, but with a much more competitive team? Time will tell. Number 3, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's contract with FedEx is up at the end of the 2023 season. And if FedEx doesn't come back and they can't replace him with another sponsor long term, Denny Hamlin would not be disappointed at all to move to his own team. I think he'll actually enjoy that because it's less pressure and, if you will, he's managing his own team, so whatever he does is benefiting himself. Right, option number 4 is Eric Jones. Eric Jones started off as a hot Toyota prospect. And when he replaced Matt Kenseth in that 20 car, the world was on fire. They thought Eric Jones was going to go out there every single weekend and contend for the win, which he did sometimes, and more so than not, he struggled. And eventually had to replace him with Christopher Bell and sent Eric Jones off to Richard Petty, which is now Petty GMS. I mean, it got rebranded to Legacy Motorsports this year. Just a rough deal for Eric Jones, but I believe the way he's been performing lately, he could be in contention to reunite with his old manufacturer, Toyota. Time will tell there. My 5th option is a very interesting option because you got a driver in the Xfinity Series, I believe, that is contending, if not the championship favorite, Austin Hill. He drives for Richard Childress Racing. Richard Childress Racing's lineup looks set for a long term with Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch. And Austin Hill, if he keeps on going out there and dominating these races all the time, he's obviously going to get a cup offer, but could it be 23XI Racing? Time will tell. But, though, if I had a bet here, I think Sammy Smith is the clear option. He's young, he brings sponsorship money, and he's well matured. And that's all you can ask for a NASCAR driver at the age of 18. Sammy Smith is the best option, in my opinion, to replace Bubba Wallace at the end of the 2023 season. But will it happen? No. Please like and subscribe.